In this video, I'm going to give you 5 settings in your iPhone 13 and 13 Pro to help you make and take better photos. The first setting is turning on your photographic styles. Now, this can be done in either the settings or in the camera app. In the settings, you just scroll down to your camera, click camera, and then scroll down to photographic styles. This approach is nice because you get a little description of what each photographic style is and what it does to your camera. And then using your app, you just open up your camera app, press on the little arrow at the top middle of your screen. You'll have a drop-down menu that shows up at the bottom. There's a group of squares. You just click on that group of squares and then you can swipe right to have a live preview of what each photographic style is doing to your scene if you're holding your camera up to whatever it is you're shooting. This is definitely one of the top tips that I give to my friends when we're out photographing something together and they see the back of my screen and how it looks different to theirs. I'm like, have you turned on your photographic styles? I personally keep mine in rich contrast. I think that it suits my style best, but experiment with different photographic styles and see which one fits your taste and your style. All right, now that you have your photographic style, let's move into setting number 2, and that is your exposure compensation. So finally, Apple included exposure compensation. I know you could do it in the past by tapping on your screen, moving your finger up or down to change your exposure. Now you just press on that little drop-down menu and then look to the right. There's a little circle with a plus and a minus in it. Click on that, and then you get a little meter. You can move your meter up or down 2 full stops. 0 is whatever the balanced exposure is of the scene, but as you know, sometimes your scenes are a little darker or you want your subject to be a little brighter. The cool thing about the exposure compensation is once you set it, it stays set until you change it. So you don't have to constantly tap on the screen and then move your finger up or down to change your exposure. I personally set mine just above the perfect exposure. I feel that it works really well in most scenes with rich contrast photographic style. But again, it's your personal taste and your personal style, so experiment with what exposure compensation that you need. Moving into setting number 3, and this is turning on your grid lines. This has to do with your composition. So when you're making a photo, you wanna make sure that part of your subject or part of the interest is in one of these cross sections within your grid lines. To give you an example, here are some professional photos taken by professional photographers, and I overlaid a grid so you can see their compositions. Set up those grid lines, practice putting your subject or point of interest in one of the crosshairs. It will make a big difference in your photos. All right, so the 4th setting, and this is for the 13 Pro users only, and this is putting your camera in Apple Pro RAW. If you don't know what a RAW file is basically giving you all of the information. So your file has a lot more dynamic range, it has a lot more color to work with. You can push your photo in editing a lot further than you can with a JPEG. But the downside is RAW files take up a lot of space. So I recommend turning it on, but then going into your camera app and just clicking the RAW so it's off. This way you have quick access to shoot RAW files whenever you want and then turn it off. So you don't have to go through your menu, miss a moment potentially, and then get your camera out. So having your RAW turned on just gives you the ability to quickly access RAW files whenever you want to. Okay, so the final setting is for those action shooters out there. I personally love taking action shots and I kind of miss them a lot with the iPhone. I don't know if it's the delay of the shutter button, but now the problem is solved. You can set up a burst mode with your volume button. So you go into settings and then just click on volume up is burst mode. Once you've shot a burst of photos, then you can go through, pick your favorite one and delete the rest. This way you're gonna get that perfect moment every single time and not have to have people keep doing an action over and over. So these are my top 5 settings that I share with all of my friends in person. I hope that you learned something from this video. If you did, please hit the like button. If you like photography, want to see some more videos, hit that subscribe button. I'll see you in the next video.